Cop Out stars Bruce Willis, Tracey Morgan, and is directed by Kevin Smith, but written by the Cullen brothers, I guess. Never let Kevin Smith direct a movie he did not write, ever again. This movie is already infamous. I don't need to say anything. We all know what I'm gonna say about Cop Out. We all know, right? We all know. But let's take a little history lesson and kind of everything evolving around Cop Out and what it caused and what happened because of it. Because that's all way more interesting than this fucking movie is. Kevin Smith worked with Bruce Willis on Live Free or Die Hard, and ever since then, Bruce Willis actually said, I want to work on a movie with you, and Kevin Smith's like, fuck my hero, he's from Jersey, all this and that, I got it. But he had no, like, he didn't have any movies written or anything, so he couldn't put him in anything. But Warner Brothers asked if he wanted to do like a studio movie. You don't have to write it, just come in, be a director for hire, and direct this movie. This movie, A Couple of Dicks, as it was called at the time. I believe it was Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell were trying to get that made. And then Kevin Smith was going to be a director for hire, but things kind of went south with all that. There was problems. So Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell went to another studio, I forget which one, and made The Other Guys. They went to another studio and made The Other Guys. Now I'm just going to spoil my review for The Other Guys, which I may never do, but I think The Other Guys is a mostly pretty funny movie. It's kind of generic and shitty at times, but for the most part I think it's actually a very fun movie to watch. And it's kind of quotable and stuff, so it's an enjoyable movie. I like The Other Guy. Cop Out, they ended up saying, hey, what about Bruce Willis, Tracey Morgan, this and that. Kevin Smith was like, yes. And so this spec script or whatever, it was on the blacklist, one of the best unproduced scripts ever. I don't know who put it on the blacklist saying that was one of the best unproduced scripts ever, because this is one of the worst scripts ever, produced or unproduced. It's shit. There had to have been some kind of serious rewriting going on when they made the movie, because if this was on a blacklist of, it's not been made, but it's so good. Maybe it wasn't made for a reason. This script sucks. It sucks. This movie is a piece of shit, okay? It's bad. And you know what? I can't blame it all on Kevin Smith. I can't. He came in as a director for hire, basically. He's like, okay, I can actually do something I haven't written. This is interesting. I could become a studio guy and just do movies for them. This could work. This could be neat. I get to work with my idol Bruce Willis. And apparently Bruce Willis was just a little dickhole on set and was not cooperating with Smith at all. But Willis has his own thing where it's like, Smith wasn't really a good director. He wouldn't interact with the cast enough. He didn't approve of his pot use, this and that. Now, I would lean more to believing what Smith said because I've seen a lot of Bruce Willis antics being a little dickhole. You can look up the interview for Red 2 where for no reason he starts giving a reporter shit like, oh, you like my movie? Yeah, pretty much fuck you. And this and that. Like, he seems like an asshole sometimes, really. If he's not invested in a movie, like Looper, he was clearly invested in that. It was a writer-director job, so he must have liked it. But I think he hates movies that don't have a vision, just like, fuck it, throw it out there. Movies that aren't brought from a writer-director. I don't think he likes doing them, but he'll do them for money, what it seems like. Because, and again, A Good Day to Die Hard, that's his franchise. He let them do that to his Die Hard franchise. Clearly, he didn't give a fuck. If he did care, he would have told them to shove that script up their ass, because it sucked. But I think Bruce Willis, I think at this point, if it's a good movie, like a writer-director's bringing a vision, he's on board. But if it's just a whatever, just, okay, a writer-director not cooperating on the same vision or anything, a dude wrote it and another dude was hired to direct it, I don't think he gives a fuck and he does it for money. And according to Kevin Smith, Willis said that a lot. He was doing the movie for money and just being a real little dickhole. But I wasn't there, I can't prove anything, but I'm just speculating based on what I've heard. So yeah, Kevin Smith hates Willis. This was just Willis phoning it in the whole time. And let's talk about the movie and then I'll get back into some of the politics of what happened because of this movie again. This movie follows Bruce Willis and Tracey Morgan's buddy cop characters as they basically fuck around. They're trying to catch a bad guy, but also there's the plot where Bruce Willis needs to pay for his daughter's wedding because apparently parents pay for weddings now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought when people get married, the bride and groom pay for the fucking wedding themselves. I don't know what kind of spoiled little shits are like, no, hey mom, dad, pay for my wedding for me. As far as I know, that doesn't happen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Willis has got a little spoiled shit daughter. But yeah, he wants to pay for it, he doesn't have the money, so he's gonna sell a baseball card that gets stolen, so it's on the hunt, gotta get this baseball card, and there's also bad guys in parentheses. Yeah, and you got the cliches. Oh, the rival cops that are just always giving them shit. We're on the same case and you guys are losers and you can't hack it like we can. The cliche, chief, you're off the case, give me your badge and your gun. Like this, fucking cliches everywhere. This script is ass. I'm gonna be saying it so many times. The script's awful. It's awful. And the places it goes are so bad and dumb. Oh my god, the villains in this too. I gotta just talk about them and get it over with. The villains in this movie fucking suck. Okay, they're bad. I saw Let's Be Cops not too long ago, and I thought that was the epitome of a shitty villain in a buddy cop action movie, because the villain in that was so unthreatening. These guys are probably just as bad, because the main villain basically looks like Pitbull crossed with a baked potato, who can't stop making the weirdest, dumbest faces ever. It's kind of entertaining, but at the same time, it just, every scene I was like, what the fuck, this is supposed to be a villain. The performance was awful, the line deliveries were awful. He was bad, he was so bad. Not threatening at all, he sucked. And basically his sidekick brother character, he was entertaining because every time he went to shoot somebody, like, that's what he would do. He was so fucking funny and how bad he was. They're not threatening, they're shit villains. And also you got Sean William Scott in there being annoying as all fuck. I hated him. I love him as Stifler. This performance fucking sucked, okay? I wish he wasn't in this movie. It was terrible. Horribly annoying character. Bruce Willis is just phoning it in the whole movie. Tracey Morgan, though, I actually gotta give him credit. In this utter shit movie that is not entertaining in the least, I gotta give Tracey Morgan credit because he actually added some slight entertainment. There was many times actually where Tracey Morgan was funny and it got me to laugh a little. I was like, Tracey Morgan's the best part of this. Yeah, there's a lot of times where he's over the top and just, okay, this isn't working, but there's a couple times for sure where it's like, no, he's pretty good, he's pretty funny. So Tracey Morgan's the best part of this turd. He was actually good. I gotta give Tracey Morgan credit. The only other person I can give credit, Rashida Jones, she was really good. I love her as an actress. She does a good job here in the very small role as Tracey Morgan's wife. But yeah, the rest of this movie fucking sucks. Kevin Smith's directing. Anyone could have directed this movie and it would have been the same. Kevin Smith adds nothing. Not one part of this movie feels like Kevin Smith. Not one part of it feels like anything in a movie Kevin Smith ever did. It never feels like a Kevin Smith movie. You could have got any other director and delivered the same shitty movie because it's all about the script. And the script, as I said, fucking sucks. It's terrible. It's a terrible plot, terrible characters. It's awful, unfunny, cliche garbage. I can't even mention like the horrible subplot. Oh, here's Kevin Pollak and Adam Brody, I think, and they're like the two rival cops. And like the thing with them is they love, was it endangered animal shoes or something? It's like, I love animal boots. Look at my zebra boots and this and that. It's like, no one gives a fuck. Okay, stop this shit. This movie's awful, no doubt. I hate its guts, but it's also somewhat of a good thing this movie happened. Kevin Smith has said it himself that this movie, it happened almost for a reason, because Kevin Smith was at a point in his career where it's like, I could do this. I could become this director for hire, like how many other jag-offs that you just, oh, it's a director that never writes his own movies and he just comes in to direct a movie and try to deliver something. They hire him to make a movie so that it can come to theaters. They add nothing. And he could have been that director for hire. And he even quotes like The Dark Knight Returns, it could have been a good death, but not good enough. And he's like, I was happy to try the studio thing. It's not for him. He's going back, directing and writing. He's got to make movies that only Kevin Smith could make. And so far, he's delivering on that. Red State, Tusk, Yoga Hosers, Moose Jaws, from what I'm hearing, no one would make these movies except Kevin Smith. Clerks 3, Hit Somebody, all that. I want those Kevin Smith movies, and thank God I realized this is shit. This is artistic death. You add nothing. This isn't real creation. He left it. He's going back to being a real artist and actually writing and directing his own stuff, and I couldn't be happier. So this piece of shit actually serves somewhat of a purpose, and I'm so happy about that. But I'll never watch this movie again. Never in my life. I give Cop Out an F. Tracey Morgan's humor is not enough to save this movie. This is an F movie. It sucks. So comment below, tell me what you thought of Cop Out, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.